put tape on her mouth, held it there so she couldn't breathe.
Now, Michael, if we just stood back from that for a second, if we just literally pause there, we are discussing a man who has escalated from wearing women's clothing, undergarments, that breaks into their homes, to now photographing women that he has murdered. And this, and we're talking about how complex he is as an offender, and yet this is a colonel in the Royal Canadian Air Force.
So he's been able to maintain those two personas. He's been able to act as a high-ranking military officer engaged in sensitive missions, and at the same time to be able to act as an offender and to hold those two things together.
You and I know that's not easy. There's leakage, isn't there? There's usually some sense of things aren't quite right here.
He's very skillful in terms of being able to maintain it, because nobody suspected it until you had the tyre tracks and the footprint. Those are the bit that connects it. Otherwise, nobody else thought that it was him. Because partly, again, because how could a high-ranking military officer engage in this activity? There's a disconnect between how you expect somebody in that position to act and sort of the linkage with offending behaviour. You don't expect the two to go together.
With the colonel having confessed to the murder of Marie-France Como, Detective Smith moves on to the disappearance and death of Jessica Lloyd.
I saw her in her house. And I noticed she wasn't there Thursday. So I got into the house, look around, and then left. Noticed she'd come home. So I went back in. Well, so I raped her in her house, and then I took her to the car and took her to Tweed.
Most people, when they kill, they want to dispose of the victim as quickly as possible. The fact that he kept her and then drove back to his cottage. He had a cottage about 50 kilometres from the base, so again he had the privacy that he wanted, and that allowed him to carry on assaulting her, raping her, and putting her under a tremendous amount of physical and psychological stress.
So Jessica poses for these pictures and the videos, and then what happens?
She thought we were leaving. Hit her on the back of the head.
So when you actually do strike her, what's the result?
Her skull gave way a little bit. She was there and immediately unconscious.
What did you hit her with?
Flashlight. Oh, it was quite a bit of blood I hadn't expected. I was strangling her.
When did you decide to do that?
Well, I was pretty sure that I wasn't going to let her leave.
He takes her body to a roadside and he dumps it out there, and then he returns home as if nothing has happened.